we got DLC to do. We got the Hijikata to do. Let's do it. Since we're here. Should be short. 1868, July. Oh. Alright. We're in Aizu. The battle in Utsunomiya had waned on Hijikata-san's health, and it was decided that he should move to Aizu in order to recuperate his declining strength. Good morning, Hijikata-san. How are you feeling? What's going on? Why are you all dressed up?
どうなさったんだも何も。部屋の中に閉じこもりっきりじゃ気がめいるからな。
But you can't put too much strain on your body. Look at your wounds. They've barely had a chance to heal. You mustn't overdo it. You're only going to make things harder for yourself. Get back into bed. You know how close you came to dying in Utsunomiya? Do you want it to happen again?
お前、何を勘違いしてやがるんだ。
What do you mean? I'm serious.
戦うつもりはねえよ。そもそも怪我人の俺が戦場に行ったところで邪魔になるだけじゃねえか。天気がいいからちと外を散歩してこようと思ってな。お前も付き合うか。
Of course, I'd love to. Besides, you're in no place to judge me. I know how reckless you are when you're left unattended, Hijikata-san.
たく信用ねえんだな。まあいいや、行くぞ。今日は随分と日差しが強いんだな。暑くねえか、雪村。どうした？何かおかしなことを言ったか？
Well, no, but Otori was right. You've changed a bit, Hijikata-san. Dare I say, the demon vice commander is starting to get a little soft around the edges?
そりゃいろいろあった後だからな。こんな時期に傷養生する羽目になるなんざついてねえと思ったが、もしかすると天が考えるきっかけをくれたのかもしれねえな。まあ俺は神やら仏なんてものは信じちゃいねえが。
Hijikata-san. Over the last 6 months, the Shinsengumi had grieved the loss of many of their top advisors and warriors. Especially Kondo-san, the charismatic chief, whose absence left the Shinsengumi in an aimless quagmire through which they had struggled to overcome.
なあ、
Yes, Hijikata-san?
今度斎藤や島田に会ったら、この近くで一番眺めがいい場所がどこか聞いておいてくれねえか。
Best view? But why? Halfway through posing the question, however, I discovered the answer for myself.
近藤さん、それと宇都宮の戦いの時に俺が切っちまった兵の墓を建ててやろうと思ってよ。どっちの亡骸も残っちゃいねえが、墓ぐらいは作ってやりてえと思ってな。
Hijikata-san. During my initial interactions with him in Kyoto, Hijikata-san had certainly preceded his reputation as a notoriously strict demon. But over time, I became closely acquainted with him, enough to peel back the layers, realizing that his gruff demeanor was mostly for appearances. In truth, I found him to be a remarkably thoughtful man, whose loyalty outweighed his foul temper. Understood. I shall let you know how they answer. If you don't mind, would it be alright for me to assist you in digging the graves? Hijikata-san looked taken aback, fluttering his eyes for a second upon hearing my request.
ああ、もちろんだ。よろしく頼むぜ。近藤さんも死ぬ間際までお前のことを心配してただろうからな。
Thank you. Beads of sweat dripped down Hijikata-san's brow, and he used the back of his palm to wipe them off.
何か冷たいものでも食ってから帰るか。
That sounds lovely. A symphony of cicadas buzzed around us as we trekked back down the rocky trail, and I turned to look over my shoulder to remember this place. It is now for the main man himself, Toshizo Hijikata. Yep. Low romance. Oh, how is this gonna go? Da-da. We will get there. We will get there. What was I to do? I have to leave. Apparently is the answer. Alright. I had to leave. There was no real choice for me. If I remained, I would bring trouble to the people I cared for. Hold on, I just realized something. I opened my door. That was the realization. I needed my door open. If I remained, I would bring trouble to the people I cared for. War was coming, and they wouldn't be able to afford any distractions. My mind was, at last, and somewhat reluctantly, made up. I think I'll go with you, Sen. If that's okay with you guys.
本当にそれでいいのね。私たちと来るって決めた瞬間、あなたは人の世の歴史に関わることはできなくなるわ。それでも構わないって、そういうのね。
I could feel my determination beginning to waver. I looked away. To no longer have access to my human life would mean I have to completely shut out the people of the Shinsengumi from my life. All of this, despite the fact that my father was the one who introduced the serum into their lives. Could I really walk away and pretend that none of this had anything to do with me? Could I live another life in isolation under someone else's protection and be fine with it?
まだそこまでの覚悟はできてないみたいね。それなのに軽々しく一緒に行くなんて言っちゃダメよ。
I'm sorry.
土方さん、どうやら彼女はまだここにいたいみたいだけど、実際どうなのかしら。もし風間が彼女を連れに来た時、彼女を守ってあげられますか？
誰に聞いてやがるんだ？今まで俺たちは幾度となくあいつらを追い返してるんだぜ。たとえ今までのがお遊びだったとしても、そうやすやすと殺されたりはしねえよ。
そう、わかりました。また振られちゃったか。
Not necessarily, Sen, but okay. I run for it. Inoue's final words echoed through my head. He had told me to run, to survive, and to deliver this message to Hijikata. Then that was what I had to do. I bowed to his body and ran.
どこまでも愚かな。逃げ切れると思っているのか。
I had scarcely taken 2 steps when I felt his hand take me by the hair and jerk my head backwards. Ow, Kazuma! Itai! His other hand snaked out of... Bleh. His other hand snaked out to clamp itself across my throat and squeeze. I struggled and kicked, but to no avail. Kazuma's grip was like a vice. Let go! I had to get free. I had to tell Hijikata Inoue-san's last words.
やれやれ。ちょっと目を離したらすぐこれだ。鬼ってのはよっぽど諦めが悪いらしいな。一度袖にされた女に、なんでそこまで執着すんのかさっぱりわからねえぜ。
That voice. Hijikata-san! I felt tears spring in my eyes again, but for a very different reason. Can I skip now? Yes, I can. Where is this all gonna go wrong? That is the question. Boop. Are we gonna... Is he... Okay, he is still. But I have a feeling I know where the change is gonna be. There's Fury Kazuma Hijikata is frightening. Wait. No! Fuck! I just realized my mistake. I realized my mistake way too fucking late. Hold on, we gotta go do that again. Hijikata-san's sword moved too fast for the eye to see. A line of blood simply appeared on Kazuma's face. He clapped a hand to it in surprise and pain and jumped back, trying to put space between them.
こりゃいいや。凄みが増していい男になったじゃねえか。さて、まがいものに傷をつけられた感想はどうだ？鬼の大将さんよ。
Kazuma didn't even seem to hear Hijikata-san's words. He simply stared, eyes wide, at the blood that fell from his face to pool in his hand. Even as I watched, his wounds closed themselves. The stream of blood slowed to a trickle and then stopped. Though the wound itself had disappeared, it seemed the ramifications had not.
虫けらいかのまがいものの分際で。よくもこの俺の顔に傷をつけたな。
It must have been the first time he'd ever been wounded by a human. Kazuma's calm face was disoriented now by rage and disgust. It was the first time I had ever seen him truly look like a demon.
絶対に許さんぞ。この世に存在するあらゆる苦痛を味わわせ、なぶり殺しにしてやる。
本性を表しやがったな。いいぜ。できるもんならやってみやがれ。
He bared his teeth in a wicked smile. Kazuma stepped to Hijikata-san's zone with rapid speed and movement. He swung and swung in a brilliant offensive display that was difficult to keep up with.
くそ、どうなってやがんだ、この動きは。
Hijikata-san attempted to keep up with the speed of Kazuma's blade, but after a few more clashes of their blades, Hijikata-san's blade was smacked straight out of his hand.
勝負あったようだな、土方と。
Kazuma smiled cruelly, taking his leisurely time as he walked towards Hijikata-san. If only Hijikata-san could jump to grab his sword. No, If he were to take his eyes off of him, even for a moment, Kazuma would lop his head clean off. Hijikata-san seemed fixed to his position, unable to make a move. At this rate... No. I unsheathed my kodachi and I charged at Kazuma.
おい、何をするつもりだ。お前は下がってろ。
I could hear Hijikata-san screaming behind me, but... I tried to thrust my kodachi towards Kazuma. The sound of flesh being torn apart cut through my ears beside me. What was that sound?
突然飛び出してくるから手元が狂ってしまったではないか。安心しろ。鬼の実ならばその程度の傷では死ぬまい。この男がなぶり殺される様をそこでゆっくり見物していろ。
Kazuma's eyes thinned maliciously out of joy. And then... What I saw then was the most cruel, horrific thing I had ever been born witness to. Yeah, so here's the thing about this ending. Kazuma, I think you seem to forget you literally have the sword that is specifically made to kill demons. You fucking idiot. So, this ending I'm going to consider Chizuru is dead. She does not heal from that wound, because if Kaoru could not handle being wounded by that sword, I highly doubt Chizuru would as well. Because that is literally a demon-killing sword! Kazuma is no slouch as a swordsman. So, we can tell. Even if he has more human strength, he's obviously skilled. And so, for our unrequited love ending, we... get revenge. If all you're going to do is use me however you like, then I might as well bite off my tongue and drown in my own blood!
おい、誰がそんな真似を許した？
Hey... Now, how far is this gonna go? Before things go any further, save. In case I skip it again. Wait. Drinking. This is all the same. I was just constantly saving in case I passed it.
貴様だけは絶対に許さんぞ。この世に存在するあらゆる苦痛を味わわせ、なぶり殺しにしてやる。
Kazuma is pissed.
本性を表しやがったな。
形勢逆転といったところ。
Go back. He bared his teeth in a wicked smile. Kazuma growled under his breath and ran, but not for Hijikata-san. He lifted me nearly off the ground by my hair and pressed his sword to my throat.
形勢逆転といったところ。
てめえ、どこまで汚ねえんだ。鬼っつうのは誇り高い生き物じゃなかったのかよ。
さっきの俺の言葉を忘れたか。この世に存在するあらゆる苦痛を味わわせてやるという命を奪うだけでは飽きた。お前にとって最も苦痛 痛な罰を与えるまでだ。人間の中には己の身を傷つけられるより見知った者を傷つけられる方が辛いなどとのたまう者がいるらしいが、お前は果たしてどちらだろうな。
I saw Hijikata-san's eyes widen as he realized what Kazuma meant, then turned to slits. He glared at the demon with eyes so sharp they could have cut steel, and lowered his sword. Uh-oh. Hijikata-san! No! He tossed his sword to the ground.
これでいいんだろう。さっさとそいつを離せ。
Why, Hijikata-san? He'd become a fury to defeat Kazuma and avenge Inoue-san. So why? Why had he given that up to save me?
なんて顔してやがる。新選組副長の俺が大使のために命を張るのがそんなに下せねえか。
But I'm not a warrior of the Shinsengumi. Why would you?
4年もうちで面倒を見てたんだ。大使みてえなもんだろうが。
He smiled at me, and I could see in his face that he knew he would die. For a moment I saw Inoue-san, just as he'd asked me to deliver his final message. I had to say something. I had to stop him. But my mind was blank.
いい覚悟だ。羅刹と化した身ならばそう簡単には死ねぬだろうし、ちょうどいい退屈しのぎになりそうだな。
He would torture Hijikata-san in every way he could think of, and then kill him. That, he seemed to think, would keep me from ever defying him again. I had to stop him. I couldn't let Hijikata-san die.
さっさと行け。俺が何のために刀を放り出したと思ってるんだ。
But
行けって言ってるだろうが！
he roared like a beast from hell, and my body jolted up instantly. I ran as quickly as I could without turning back. Hijikata-san, I can trust you, right? The Shinsengumi still needs you. So please don't die. Please survive and make it back to your men. Well, we're in Osaka. I scrambled back, and I finally arrived back at Osaka Castle. Then it came to light the supreme commander of the shogunate, Lord Yoshinobu, had abandoned the troops and returned to Edo. And Yamazaki, who was bravely protecting the Fushimi magistrate, had passed away. Ah! So this is the alternate ending of how Yamazaki dies. Not by wounds on a ship. I'd been able to reunite with the other Shinsengumi captains, but...
土方さん、どうしちまったんだ。もうすぐ船が出ちまうっつうのに。
No matter how long we waited, Hijikata-san didn't show up.
お前の話じゃ、風間のやつと戦ってたんだよな。ってことは、やっぱり。
佐野、不吉なこと抜かすんじゃねえよ。あの人が死ぬはずねえだろうが。
It was all my fault. If I hadn't met Kazuma on that mountain path, or as Sen suggested, I'd left the Shinsengumi to join her. The weight of these regrets were crashing upon me, and I could barely stand.
船に乗ることにしようぜ。これ以上ここに留まっててもしょうがねえ。
And then, just as Harada had said that, the sliding door flew open abruptly and someone walked in. The person was...
遅くなっちまって悪かったな。
副長、生きておられたのですか。
しかもその格好は。
I couldn't blame Saito-san for being surprised. Hijikata-san's kimono was drenched in blood. Judging by the state of his clothes alone, you could see the hell he'd just dragged himself out of, and I could imagine how their battle unfolded.
幕軍は船で江戸に戻ることになったんだったな。すぐに支度をする。お前らは先に船に乗っててくれ。
ああ、わかった。
Harada Saito-san. Hey, yo! A button. Harada Saito-san and Nagakura all left the common room. I was the only one that remained. Hijikata-san wiped a blood stain smeared across his cheeks with his sleeve. He watched me, pausing for a moment to breathe.
さっき言った通り、俺たちはこのまま江戸に戻るつもりだが。
I had a feeling I kind of knew what he was about to tell me.
お前はもう俺たちに付き合う義理はねえ。羅刹のこと、落ち水のこと、そして光道さんのことは全部俺たちで何とかする。だからあのお銭湯君菊って女を頼って安全な場所へ身を隠せ。男装じゃなくて女のなりをすれば薩長軍の奴らの目をごまかせるだろう。
I knew all of this was something that would come eventually. At first, I thought they were terrifying men. But the more I got to know the Shinsengumi men, the more I became comfortable with them. Before I knew it, I was confronted with the thought of losing them, and it made me numb all over. However, I couldn't be responsible for letting one of their men share the same fate as Inoue-san. I couldn't let anyone else die on my behalf. Thank you for the last 4 years. I honestly can't thank you enough. I will pray for everyone to return safely. I placed my hands upon the ground and I bowed, laying prostrate before Hijikata-san.
たく、お前どこまで人がいいんだ。てめえを何年も監禁してた奴らの親玉に礼を言うなんてよ。そんな調子だとこの先悪い男に騙されるんじゃねえかって心配になっちまうぜ。それじゃあな、達者で暮らせよ。
His eyes burned with as much kindness as I'd ever seen from him. Hijikata-san bid his farewell. Then I headed towards the hill overlooking the view of Osaka Bay. I watched as the black ship let out plumes of dark smoke, and it left towards Edo. Although Supreme Commander Yoshinobu fled the battle, I know in my heart that Hijikata-san held the resolve to continue his own fight. Although I may not be able to be by his side, please be safe. How we met seems so peculiar now. But I can never forget all of the days I spent with everyone.